Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us his truth to rule well. I'm going to go into unclean foods, all right, because yes, the pig is unclean, all right. There's certain foods that we are allowed to eat and that we are not allowed to eat, you know. Eventually, everybody's going to fall under that order, not just the Israelites. All right. Eventually, everybody will fall under that order. But, let me get a Leviticus 11:2. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among the beasts that are on the earth. All right. So there's certain beasts that you can eat, and there's certain that you can't. All right. It says, whatsoever parteth the hoof and is cloven-footed and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat. All right, so that's exactly the order it has to fall under. All right, when you read through, some chew the cud and some don't divide the hoof. All right, or some divide the hoof, but you still can't eat them. It has to follow that exact order given to us by the Most High, So it says, nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof. You see? So it has to divide the hoof, and it has to chew the cud in order for you to eat them. But some have some of those qualities, and you still can't eat them. All right, the camel, you can't eat the camel, all right, as the camel, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof. He is unclean unto you. And the coney, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the hare, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the swine, though he divide the hoof, and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean unto you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean unto you. All right? And this was an order given from the Most High, man. That's why in verse 1 it says, and Yahweh spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them. So this is what the Most High said. All right? Malachi chapter 3 and verse 6. For I am Yahweh, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. All right, so his love is still for Jacob. His love is still for the righteous. All right, and we still have to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, to the best of our ability, man. So it says, let me go to Matthew chapter 5 and verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. All right. So everything is still intact, man. Everything hasn't been fulfilled of the law. All right. Which is the kingdom of heaven. That's when we know we already accomplished it. But even after that, Jeremiah 31:31, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them up out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith the Lord. All right, which was what? A verbal contract of the law. All right, verbally passing down and written in paper. All right, passing it down and saying, look, this is what you can and can't do. All right, not that covenant. It's going to be a spiritual covenant All right. 33. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith Yahweh, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts. And I will be their God, and they shall be my people. All right. So it's no longer going to be, hey, look, we have to teach our people, what we're supposed to do, what we're supposed to follow, what we're supposed to eat, what we're supposed to. We no longer have to make these videos to teach another Israelite what to do. All right. Because the new covenant is going to be what? Through the blood of Yahushai. All right. And also, the law is going to be in our inward parts. That means we're going to be unable to sin. All right. That's what that signifies. Unable to sin. If the law is in our inward parts and he's going to write it in our hearts, that means he's going to program us to not go off. All right. We're not going to be able to sin. Because what is sin? Sin is a transgression of the law, according to 1 John. Sin is the transgression of the law. You see? So we go to Mark 7 now. In Mark 7, all right, it doesn't tell you that you can eat whatever you want to eat. That's not what Mark 7 is about. All right. It says, Mark 7:1, then came together unto him the Pharisees and certain of the scribes, which came from Jerusalem. All right, because Yahushua was never accused for eating unclean meat. You see, his apostles were not accused for eating unclean meat. That wasn't the accusations brought unto them. All right. They didn't accuse him for anything else other than for preaching Yahushua. You see? So it says in verse 2, and when they saw, all right, the wicked Pharisees and the wicked scribes, and when they saw some of his disciples eat bread with defiled, that is to say, with unwashed hands, they found fault. All right? They didn't say they found them eating defiled food, which is what? A camel, all right? A dog, eating a cat or eating a pig. They didn't find them eating that. They were simply just eating bread, all right, with unwashed hands. That is to say, with washing hands, they found fault. So that's what this whole thing is about, man. Yahushua didn't say, you can eat all foods, because I know the NSV, all right, the NSV Bible tells you in verse, I think it was verse 19, therefore all foods were made clean. That is not what Yahushua is talking about, man. And that's why you need to stick to the 1611 King James Bible. The King James Bible was a more accurate translation, because the scripture does not say, therefore all food is clean. That's not what that's talking about, man. Because the whole thing came up because of unwashed hands, because of dirty hands. I used to work as with a mechanic back in the day, and, we would be working on cars all day, and by lunchtime, our hands were pretty dirty. And even if we washed our hands, all right, with all the oil and the grease and all that stuff that was in the car, the gasoline, some of that stuff would stay really, stuck into our hands. So whenever we would go to eat, we had to eat with, semi-clean hands. They were still pretty dirty. So did that defile us? Did that make us, wicked people? No, man. Not by eating dirty hands. I mean, depending on what the food was, which at that time was just a carne asada burrito, with guacamole. So that was clean, Even though I didn't religiously wash my hands, like the Pharisees and the scribes did, So that's what this whole thing came about in Mark 7, by unwashed hands. It says, for the Pharisees and the Jews, except they wash their hands often, eat not, holding the tradition to the elders or of the elders. You see? So they were holding that tradition, you got to wash your hands, and they would do it, to almost over exaggerating, man. Like the doctors, whenever they, if you ever watch Grey's Anatomy or any doctor show, what's that? Doctor Strange, how they would wash their hands, they would wash it all the way up to their elbows, and they wouldn't dry it. They wouldn't grab a towel and dry it. They would have somebody else grab a clean towel and dry it for them. It says, and when they come from the market, except they wash, they eat not. And many other things there be, which they have received to hold, as the washing of cups and pots, brassen vessels, and of tables. All right, so there were certain things that they would follow that is not even according to the law. Those are the things that Yahweh Shai came to do away with. All right, laws passed down by men and not laws passed down through scripture. Yahweh Shai didn't come here and say, you know what, all that stuff my father said, let's forget about it. Let's do something else. Yahweh Shai never did that, man. That's why I brought that one out that says, that he didn't come here to destroy the prophets or the law. Because what do the prophets do? They teach, and it's an unlawful thing to be eating pork, to be eating, dogs and octopuses and sharks and crocodiles. The only fish, all right, the only type of seafood we are allowed to eat is fish with scales, all right, and with fins. You see, there's only certain fishes that we're allowed to eat, man. And there's only certain foods, all right, animals, beasts that we can eat. We can't go around eating everything. You can't grab a spider and eat a spider, man. But you can eat a locust. There's certain lawful things and certain unlawful things, man. I used to eat locusts. At first it was, at first you would look at it and you're kind of like, ugh, but it actually tastes pretty good, But that's also one thing that we can eat. We can eat chicken, turkey. All right. There's a difference between a turkey and a turkey vulture. All right. We can eat turkey. We cannot eat turkey vulture. Those are vultures. All right. We can eat quail, chicken, turkey. You just have to, do your research. So jumping down to verse, let me start off at verse 17. And when he was entered into the house from the people, his disciples asked him concerning the parable. And he said unto them, are ye so without understanding also? Do ye not perceive that whatsoever thing from without entereth into the man, it cannot defile him, because it entereth not into his heart, but into the belly, and goeth out the draught, purging all meats. All right. Let's go over here. To make clean, cleanse, physical stain and dirt, utensils, food, a leper, to cleanse by curing, to remove by cleansing, which is what? Taking a shit, man. It's not really telling you, all meats are clean now, which is in the NIV. In verse 19, it tells you into the belly and goeth out the draught. And then it puts it in parentheses and it says, therefore all meat is now clean. That's not what it's saying, because the whole thing about this is eating with dirty hands. Eating dirty, say even you have a little bit of dirt or dust or particles on your food. Does that mean your food is defiled? No. Again, depending on the food you're eating, because the Most High never changes. And he said what is unclean, So he said, and he said, that which cometh out of a man that defileth a man. All right. Which is what? From the heart, from the mind. All right. Wickedness. And even at that, if, all right, if in your mind, all right, you feel like you shouldn't eat pork according to the Bible because it's bad for you, and you still eat it, that's a sin. All right. Because you don't have a clean conscience. All right. And that's according to scripture as well. You know, that's why it says, say somebody doesn't eat cow, they're partially vegetarian. And I mean partially because you can't just only eat vegetables all the time, man. Because in the time of the Passover, you have to slay a goat or a lamb, all right? And you have to cook a lamb, That's something you have to do. I mean, you can be a vegetarian, the rest of your life. But when it comes to that day, you have to do it. And if you do that, then that's perfectly fine, man. There's nothing bad about that. People just like to take it to an extent, man. And it's crazy. Like the thing with Deuteronomy, no, it wasn't Deuteronomy. It was, I believe it was Exodus. It might have been Deuteronomy, where it talks about the woman that is taken by a man. People freak out about that and say that we teach these awful things when in reality, we're just teaching you what the scriptures are saying, man. Because a bunch of you numbnuts out there, say certain things and you're like, oh, man, this is actually this and the Bible's evil. So we have to explain it. We have to break it down and explain, look, this means this, and this isn't telling you to go out there and do it. This is just explaining to you what it was back then and what is allowed in the eyes of the Most High. But like I made that video the other day, you guys, your law isn't the law of the Most High, man. Your law is the law of justice, is what you call it. You call it the law of justice, which is nothing more than your feelings. What you feel is right and when you feel is wrong. I feel like sleeping with socks is wrong, so I'm going to make it a justice system. A bunch of stupid shit, man. But it says, that which cometh out of a man, that defileth a man. All right, so your actions, So breaking of the law is also part of that action, man. This is Acts chapter 10. Because a lot of people like to go to Acts chapter 10 as well to say, see, you can eat whatever you want to eat. The Lord came down and said, you know what, eat whatever you want to eat, Peter. That's not how it goes, man. So let me start off at verse 9. Acts 10 and 9. On the morrow, as they went in their journey and drew nigh unto the city, Peter went up in the housetop to pray upon the 6th hour. And he became very hungry and would have eaten, but while they made ready, he fell into a trance. All right, so while they were making the food, and after he prayed, he fell into a trance, which is like a vision. It says, and saw heaven open, and a certain vessel descending unto him, and it had been a great sheet knit in the four corners, and down to the earth, and let down to the earth, wherein were all manner of four-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the air. And there came a voice to him, Rise, Peter, kill and eat. And Peter said, Not so, Lord, for I have not eaten anything that is common or unclean. Now check this out. This is the book of Acts. All right. And this is after Yahushua. You see, the book of Mark and the book of Matthew, those take place at the time of Yahushua. So if Yahushua at that time had said, you can eat whatever you want, how come Peter was like, you know what? I'm not going to eat whatever I want, Yahushua. I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to keep the law. All right. You have to put these things into context, man. You have to put them in order as well. You have to do your research and really figure out what's going on, man. Because a lot of people like to pull certain things out of the scripture and say, see, this one right here says this. Yeah, but that was before this. All right. And at this time, somebody was counseled. And now they brought this out saying I was basically wrong at what I said. You know? So in Acts 10 and 13, when Yahushua told him, kill and eat. All right. And in verse 14, when Peter said, not so, Lord, for I have not eaten anything that is common or unclean. Why did Peter say that? All right. Why did Peter say, I have not eaten anything common or unclean, if in the book of Matthew and the book of Mark, all right, it was supposedly clear that you can eat whatever you want? You know? Let's look at common, koinos, common, ordinary, belonging to a generally by the Jews, unhallowed, profane, Levitically unclean. And we read what happened in the Levitical law in Leviticus 11. You know? We saw what's clean and what's unclean. So that's what Peter was seeing. You know? He was seeing animals that looked unclean. You know? Camels and pigs. And he said, not so. You know? I'm not gonna eat defiled food. You know? It says, but Peter said, not so, Lord, for I have not eaten anything that is common, all right, Levitically unclean, all right, or unclean. And the voice spake unto him again a second time, what the Most High has cleansed, that call thou not common. Now keep that in mind, all right? You have to keep verse 15 in mind. What the Most High has cleansed, that call thou, all right, call not thou common. This was done thrice, and the vessel was received up again into heaven. Now, while Peter doubted in himself, why would Peter doubt himself? Why would Peter have that doubt? No. Can I eat pig? No. Why would he doubt himself again if in Matthew chapter 5 and in Mark chapter 7, all right, Mark 7 and 19, it says that, you know, you can eat whatever you want. If those were the justifying moments for Christianity and for Christians to eat whatever you want, why is Peter in such doubt? All right. Why is Peter in such doubt, man? It says what his vision, which he had seen, should mean. All right. So he's trying to decipher that vision that he had. All right. Behold, the men which were sent from Cornelius had made inquiry for Simon's house and stood before the gate. So while Peter was thinking, what does this mean? The Most High was going to show him, all right, by those men knocking at the door. You see? And called and asked whether Simon, which was surnamed Peter, were lodged there. While Peter thought on the vision, the Spirit said unto him, behold, 3 men seek thee. All right, so while Peter was thinking upon it, the Spirit was like, look, your answer's here. That's basically what's happening, man. You know? That was the whole point of that story. Keeping it in context, that's the whole point of the story. Peter seeing the unclean animals and calling them unclean and common, and Yahushua saying, what the Most High has cleansed, thou call not thou unclean or common. And while Peter was thinking on his vision, hey, what could that mean? Then it was shown to him, the Israelite foreigners. All right, because Israel, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, the kingdom of Judah had always seen Israel, all right, the northern kingdom, as unclean because they lusted after other gods and they went a-whoring after other gods and they went after the ways of the heathen and started following customs of the heathen. And even certain Judites, Judah, Benjamin, and Levites that left their heritage, and they went and tried to follow another heritage, all right, which was of the Greek, the customs of the Greek. Timothy's father called himself a Greek, but he was actually an Israelite because Timothy's an Israelite, you know? So that's what that whole dream was about, the scattered sheep. You see? That's what the whole dream was about, man. It says, verse 20, arise therefore and get thee down and go with them, doubting nothing, for I have sent them. All right. So now he's not going to be like, yo, these guys aren't Jews. All right. This guy's not from Judah, Benjamin, or Levi. I'm not going to follow after them. That's what the whole thing about the dream was. Because the northern kingdom was considered unclean. Just like the food. Certain foods are considered unclean. And Israelites saw the northern kingdom as unclean. All right, that they had no association with the northern kingdom. That's what the whole point of Acts chapter 10 was. That was not a justification for you to eat whatever you want. All right, you still have to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. It says, then Peter went down to the men which were sent to him from Cornelius, which Cornelius was an Israelite. All right, and said, behold, I am he whom ye seek. What is the cause, therefore, ye are come? And they said, Cornelius the centurion, a just man, and one that feareth the Most High, and of good report among all the nation of the Jews, was warned from the Most High by a holy angel to send for thee into this house and to hear words of thee. All right, so Cornelius was an Israelite, man. Which I think it was, let me see, Cornelius, a Roman centurion of the Italian cohort stationed in Caesarea, who converted to Christianity. Let's see. I forgot where it was at, but Cornelius was basically from a northern kingdom, another tribe, So Cornelius was an Israelite, man. It says, then called he them and lodged them. And on the morrow, Peter went away with them, and certain brethren of Joppa accompanied him. All right, so if I jump down, I'm going to start off at 26. Acts 10 and 26, but Peter took him up, saying, stand up, I myself also am a man. And as they talked with him, he went in and found many that were come together. And he said unto them, ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation. All right. Which another nation is what? The northern kingdom. The northern kingdom is each tribe is basically its own nation. The tribe of Judah is hundreds and hundreds of thousand people, man. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Issachar, Zebulun, Naphtali. There's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of different people. All right. Basically considered its own nation. But all in all, still loved in all as Israel by the Most High. So that's why Peter said that to Cornelius. You know how that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation. But the Most High has showed me that I should not call any man common or unclean, you see? Because it's talking about men. That brother from, where is he from? It's not Oregon. Columbus. That brother from Columbus. All right. Great Millstone. He looks like a so-called white man. He looks like a heathen. But that man is an Israelite according to his spirit. His spirit testifies that he is a child of the Most High, man. You know? So that's where the differences come in from carnal and spiritual, man. And a lot of these carnal people that call themselves spiritual, all right, these Christians and these followers of Vocab Malone and different various other people call themselves spiritual, breaking down scriptures, but they don't understand the context of what they're reading, man. You know? So no, unclean food is still unclean. It has not been cleansed. All right. It has not been accepted. It has not been okayed. You see? But the Most High has shown me that I should not call any man common or unclean. So I hope that was edifying. And with that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us His truth to rule well. Shalom.